Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to our headlines or analyzing the stories that we read out to you earlier. We've got our guest here this morning, Israel Fagbemigun. He is a journalist. It's great to have you on the show again today.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
Happy, it's still Eid though. So happy Salah, happy
Salah.
holiday. We always greet about everything in Nigeria. So happy holiday, happy today.
Same to you.
All right, our phone lines are open so you can call in to make your contributions or ask your questions. Quite a number of stories to talk about, but let's start with Salah. What would you actually say with regards to if you have to judge from before now and after this, from today, in fact, from yesterday or day before yesterday, all that happened during this Salah? You have people complaining about low sales, and then yet you still have this. You have rams that are selling for as low as 200,000 and as high as 800,000. Someone said that that's even enough to buy at least a Sienna or at least one small vehicle, but yet you have to use it to buy a ram that you will share for that few days. So would you actually say that, and even you have, if you have to go political about it, APC, PDP, Labour Party, all trading blames and trading wars, saying that yours was worse, mine is better, and all of that. So would you say, with all that you've seen, would you say that this Salah 2023 was really Salahing or not?
Well, we see the effects everywhere. Of course, as rightly mentioned, there's a drastic change as to how people went about it in the last year and what obtained yesterday and presently today. If you look at the streets, you see that the number of places where the rams were slaughtered reduced drastically. I think in the whole street of one of my comrades, where they used to have 10, 20 houses slaughtering their rams. They only had one yesterday. And it's only a reflection of the reality, the current harsh economic realities that cannot be unconnected from the policy of the new government. Though their narrative is that we'll enjoy it in the long run. But the other definition of the long run is that when we are all dead. That's the definition of the long run by one of my white men friends, when we are all dead. So for me, I think that the government needs to sit down and revisit some of these policies and look at how we can put some levels of human face to them.
What policies are you looking at, to be precise, in this context?
The fuel subsidy removal policy, the floating of the naira dollar exchange policy, and a number of others that he has put into place.
Are you saying that it's not a good step in the right direction?
Well, I've not said it's not a good step. What they are preaching, as I rightly mentioned, is that we are going to enjoy it in the long run. But you have to live today before you can...
And long run means when we're all dead.
Long run means...
Is that?
You said, for you said long run means when we're all dead.
Yes. So we have to live today first to see tomorrow. Because they successfully, the political class over the years have successfully demonized the concept of subsidy when it comes to what the entire common man can afford, which is what affects the entire common man, which is the petrol. But they do not put any emphasis, they do not talk about the fact that companies, corporate bodies are consistently subsidized in this country to continue to exist. There are banks, name them, the big main companies, consistently they subsidize them in this country. And heavens did not fall. And they have also forgotten the fact that world over, even in the Western countries, billions of dollars are spent to subsidize energy. Because energy is like life. So, I don't know where the average common man will I don't know what position will take as events unravel. Just this morning, I was reading a story when oil marketers were interviewed, and they said their projection is about 700 naira plus.
Like you just actually took the
yeah, exactly. That was why I just
out of her mouth.
Out of my
So,
mouth.
so what it means is that we are not seeing anything getting better. Even those in business now, they are even afraid. If you don't, because when things unravel like this, if you put your money into any business and there's too much uncertainty in it, you can lose it. So even those who have money now, they will prefer to keep it at home to see the end of the continuous unraveling that is currently happening. Even
though President Bola Tinubu, during his inauguration speech, has already promised that he's going to bring back those investors who feel that the appetite was waned.
Well, if you say you want to bring back investors, yes, it looks very good in the surface of it. But the question you ask is, of what value is this investment going to be to the populace in Nigeria? In Nigeria, I mean. We have a number of investors already. We have them all over in Lagos, the factories everywhere, where they treat Nigerians like animals, where they sack indiscriminately. Yeah, just recently, the NLC, we read in the news that the NLC had to intervene in a case of over 100 being sacked in one of these companies. So it's beyond inviting investors. It's beyond it, because an average investor is coming here to come and protect its interest, which is maximizing profit. They are not coming here because they like Nigeria, and that's why when I read that IMF is commending Nigeria, they are giving us they are setting agenda for the country on what to do and what not to do. I ask myself, what makes these leaders think that these people like us more than themselves? They don't. They don't. But again, because of the fact that some of them also want to curry favor from some of these international organizations, they give them the easy way in, and they bring them in to mess up Nigerians, common Nigerians at some levels. So what I'm saying is, all that happened yesterday, the very quiet celebration that people had yesterday, where people were practically saying that the complaint was everywhere.
So now, do you see
it has never been this bad?
Do you see it actually shifting to Christmas? That since it happened now in June, you might even see same or maybe better.
Or do you actually think Christmas? It's actually because of the celebration that things are this? Of course, we know prices would usually skyrocket during celebration, festive season.
You see, this is it. When you say prices skyrocket during festive season, what makes prices skyrocket during festive season is because you have more demand.
Yeah.
But in this case, the demand dropped because not only buyers were interviewed, even sellers complained that they didn't get the request as expected, the way they used to get it, the way the kind of the purchasing power of the people reduced drastically yesterday. So, and when purchasing power reduces and there are not many people calling out to come and to buy in the market, it's not of any gain to the seller, because the more you sell, the more profit you make. So it's not anything connected to. Look at the packs.
Rush.
Look at the packs. Ordinarily, yes, they increase transport fare in the park, but if you go to the parks yesterday, you see that they couldn't even try it, because even those who go to the roadside to go and hunt for vehicles, popularly called Sole in Yoruba, those ones too, the prices were also very high. So it's not a case of festivity, it's a case of what hardship Nigerians are presently facing.
All right.
The common Nigerians.
Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello, Annabel and Babajide. Good morning. I'm calling from Lagos. Akim calling from Lagos.
Akim, it's good to hear from you. Tell us, how was your Salah, or how's Lagos today? How's Salah in Lagos?
It's Lagos is nice, but that salad you asked me of, anyway, I wasn't able to eat drama the way I wanted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you very well.
We can hear you.
Okay, I manage myself anyway, just like every other Nigerian. It's not easy. Anyway, let me go on my point. At least I'm not trying to dispute your analysis there. Is somehow of point, but the truth of the matter is, I keep on saying that Nigeria is already deteriorated already. Understand? So this president now, he has a very humongous job to do, and if we want to be sincere with ourselves, case he has taken, talk about the forex, the unnecessary arbitrage that some people are taking advantage in some of differences of the forex there. For him to harmonize it is a very great step, okay? Because we all know that he himself that is saying that the analyst knows it. If there's no step you take without the negativity is what you are seeing, but that's the best step, okay? That is one. Then issue of the subsidy removal. We all know the circumstances that led to the removal of the subsidy, the corruption and whatever that is within there. So there's nothing wrong in what is being done now, okay? He's doing it on the right step. And he's talking about the IMF. Yes, the Nigerian government should just watch the way we are being dictated at. But the fact is that Nigeria cannot live in an island, okay? In terms of business, you need to interact with the whole world. And we need the investors, right? The Nigerian investors and the foreign investors. There are no ways we can do, nothing we can do without that, okay? So then, you did mention about the opposition. Yes, I love the way that they are shouting now. You know, Nigerian opposition, even the APP themselves, when they were opposition, they like to talk too much. Okay, this is the assignment for the opposition. If they are truly opposition that love Nigerians, right? Yes, what they should be challenging the present government is on the issue of a cost of governance. Let's see from the opposition themselves, let them challenge their own representative from the National Assembly, okay? Especially Labour Party, PDP and others, to tell them that one of them to raise a motion that the National Assembly pay should be cut into 50%, half of it, okay?
All right.
Okay, I hope you are getting me. So this is when you now know that they really feel what we are feeling, because Nigeria are going through a lot. So we have to go through it. But at the same, lastly, the present government and the opposition, because both of them have their own representatives there, right? If they truly love Nigeria, truly, because this Salah that we celebrated, the meaning of killing of that is sacrifice, right?
All right.
So we, masses, we are sacrificing for the better tomorrow. We want to see it from the leaders. They should raise that motion. And they should not even bring about even increasing their own pay. They should raise the motion of cutting up to their payment. Then we know that they are doing the right thing.
All right, thank you so much.
Finally, the president's steps so far are fantastic. Let him carry it on. He's doing good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I can call us from Lagos. All right. Hello, good morning.
Beautiful morning to you, Orji, Babajide, Mr. Israel. You are on to SMD from Lagos.
SMD from Lagos. We've been waiting to hear from you. Go ahead. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Annabel. Mr. Israel, it shows like maybe Annabel did not give you a salami.
Really, why did you have to go for my head?
You just have to go that way.
It's okay. Seriously, let me quickly respond to the message of Mr. President, and let me combine it with the Sultan of Sokoto message. They are all they are sending the same message to Nigerians. But before then, let us look at the sacrifice issue. Rather, let me just summarize it in a short form. The issue of Eid Adhan. You see, Eid Adhan serves as a reminder of the profound lesson which we learn from the Holy Prophet Ibrahim, where he sacrificed his son Israel. So in summary, it encourages Muslims to embody the values of sacrifice in their daily lives. There should be an emphasis in that, daily lives. You understand? Then sacrifice their own desires their own desires. There should be an emphasis on that. Ego and material possessions.
Okay.
The sake of pleasing Allah and then benefiting others. Now the question is, do we learn from this lesson? If we learn from this lesson, whatever may be the case, definitely Nigerians will like to put a smile to their fellow Nigerians, no matter how things will cost.
Yeah.
It means that whatever we are doing, we don't learn from our lesson. I'm telling you this. What the church we believe in, we don't practice exactly what we learn. That is my worry. And if you go to Quran, chapter 68, verse 4, it teaches us to learn the morals of the Prophet of Islam, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So also, if you get to the Holy Bible, I think chapter 13, Matthew 13, verse 8 to 10, talk about morals. If you go to English Standard Version, you will learn about that. So the question is, if these are our religious, if we are, practicing the teaching of our faith, believe me, Nigeria will not be in the position we are today. So the question is, for how long shall we learn from the exact lesson so that we can be a better country? We cannot always keep on blaming our leaders. We can't just do that. We must have to contribute towards the building of this nation. That is my worry. Are we for real? As the question I ask myself, are we for real? So please, let us invite peace. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that.
Exactly.
Are we expecting the angels from heaven to come and drive out our menace in the society? The answer is no. We are to do it ourselves. So the question I always ask myself and the entire country, for how long shall we get out of this present predicament that we are today?
All right.
Thank you very much. I remain SMD from Lagos, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, SMD from Lagos. That's some deep thought right there. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Okay, so I think we'll have to let it go. He had actually said some deep food for thought, rather. So let's leave that story and move straight to other ones. And this particular story is on all headlines, saying drama as Adeleke's aide and ex-Senate spokesperson clash at Eid prayers. They've been the back and forth with that story. What are your thoughts in that?
I think it's just some session of needless fracas. For me, I think that if I listened to both of them later yesterday on some national televisions, and I discovered that it's just some bridge on communications, some communication gaps between who is supposed to do the needful from the government end and the former senators end. I feel that when you don't demonstrate civility in public places like that, that is what the fallout becomes. According to the senator, he said that some touts were the ones who came to talk to him about the fact that he was sitting in the wrong position at the public place. And I expect government officials who control the government protocol, who are in charge of the government protocol, to be the one to do that. And you can't force that argument. Whoever has been in governance before will know that when a governor is going somewhere, there are always advanced teams to go and make sure that those places are in order. Same for presidents, even for local government chairmen. So I feel that it's high time people in places of public responsibility take their job seriously. I think it's because they didn't take their job seriously yesterday.
So you're saying that it's just deliberate?
It's not really, I won't say it is really deliberate. I will say that it was laxity on their part, and of course they wanted they brought in the argument or the narrative of assassination against the governor. I think that is extreme.
That was way
nobody
too
wants
much.
to kill anybody.
All right, let's quickly take this call before we go ahead. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Annabel, please. I made the wrong quotation. It's Romans 13, verse 8 to 10, and then Matthew 7 to 12. That is why I called to correct, please. I'm sorry.
All right.
So please, we go through them. We see they talk about moral, love, and then sacrifice, and so on and so forth. So where are we? That's the question. So please, let us practice the exact teaching of our faith so that we should push this country forward. Thank you very much. I remain SMD from Lagos.
All right, SMD, thank you so much for calling us back. Moral and respect. Okay, let's go straight to what the story is.
Okay, right. I'll take you from the point where Kano NLC meets over suspension of 10,800 workers' salaries. And I think that's a little bit overboard, if you ask me. And there's been a constant case of new governors coming in to revoke whatever the past governor has said. But then should we actually get to this point where there's a suspension of over 10,800 workers' salaries?
Well, my take is that the new governor needs to start taking serious steps in governance that will be projected as being pro-people and bring the dividends of democracy to its people, rather than these vindictive and blind extreme actions being taken. How will you start off with crisis in government? I think that it is extreme, it is needless, and I wonder who is advising him. And more worrisome is the fact that he's under the tutelage of the former governor. I mean, Senator Radu Kwakwanso. It's under his tutelage, and I wonder if Kwakwanso had been president, if this is the kind of government he will run in Nigeria. You can't continue to demolish and sack. A new government should signify fresh air to the people. You should make more friends, even among those who didn't vote for you. That's how to stabilize in government. But the kind of steps he has been taking.
Do you see that as political vendetta?
That's the only definition to it.
And this same Kano governor, he said, has demolished 226 billion naira worth of buildings.
And the truth is that, whether he likes it or not, he's only shooting himself in the leg. Because when there is peace, he will have concentration. Except he has come and introduce anarchy in that state. If what he wants is to have peace and at least have some one or two legacies to his name, then I think this is not the right way to start. Because if he continues like this, in the next 6 months, there may be no state called Kano.
Oh wow. Yes. No, we hope it doesn't get to that. All right, so let's take other stories. And this one on I have two stories I want to just merge together so you can take it in one breath so as to save our time. Guardian newspaper says lobby is stranded as Tinubu relocates from Bodilon to White House. And I'm wondering, were they not even expecting him? Were they expecting him to stay there forever? And that's one on the side. I'd like you to respond to that one. And then we go straight to Daily Sun. It says, where is that story again? Okay, it says, why I won't accept beaded crown, only authentic Olubadan crown. That's coming from Ladoja. I would like you to help us explain that. Even on Nigerian Tribune, he said that I'm not interested in any other crown except Olubadans. That's coming from Ladoja. I'm sure a lot of people are at some point trying to understand. You're not accepting beaded crown, it has to be Olubadan crown. Help us put that together. Those two questions.
Well, let me start from the Ladoja question.
Okay.
You see, the truth is, at his stage, he has chosen his priorities among all other things. I think being Olubadan has been a long-term dream for him. He has been governor. He's made billions in the shipping industry. He's seen it all except that alone. So if he says that if you are bringing an option of maybe a lower cadre or a lower authority crown, I don't want it.
Is the
All I
bigger crown
want
the
is
lower authority crown? Is that what you're saying? Help us
no,
understand the difference.
you see, the truth is, there's hierarchy in monarchy. There's hierarchy. I know that as far as Oyo State is concerned, after the Alaafin Oyo, the next is Olubadan.
Okay.
So, and the Olubadan thing is a symbol of authority projected because of the capital city, because of the fact that Ibadan is the capital city of Oyo State. And of course, it's a throne that has succession, defined succession. So if he says that that is what he wants, it means that he's practically saying that I'm not going to, as long as God spares my life, I'm not in a hurry to go take up any other crown. I'll wait for this. I think he's by number 2 or number 3 in the hierarchy to the present Olubadan. So I think that he's only talking like the practical elites who choose their priorities and know what they want. Then for those who lobby, it's normal to lobby. It's very, very normal to lobby. Because the truth is, not everybody will be patronized in government. And in actual fact, not everybody has the capacity to be in government. So lobbying is a usual practice in the political balance. It's a usual practice. So I think that it is normal, but of course, I expect him to be to demonstrate his experience in the area of making his choices as to who is going to be appointed to the government.
Just like the UK envoys, they said they are actually waiting on him to release his list, ministerial list. I wonder why everyone is just really tensioned about knowing who is going to be at his kitchen
because whoever is going to be in charge will determine what obtains in the next 4 years in those respective ministries. Take for instance, if you have an unfriendly foreign minister now, that will be a problem for the international community, because everybody will have to pass through the foreign minister to the president. The president cannot have the time to listen to everybody. Those people will call the shots in whichever responsibility ministries they are appointed to. So I think that the wait will not be too long again. I don't see him as somebody who is ready to waste time on appointments like the outgone government. I think he will just appoint people to their responsibilities as quickly as he can. And there is even information that the ministerial list is ready, just waiting for.
Yes, I said after
Salah for them to present to the National Assembly.
Okay, all right. I'd like us to take this story from the Daily Trust newspaper. Despite outcry over JAMB cut-off marks, data shows 140 plus among lowest. And Annabel and I concluded, but we don't know if you have another angle to it. We said there's a lot going on right now in the country, and how would you expect people to actually focus on one thing, which is reading right now? What do you think about it?
It's not really about reading, it's about its take on those professions and education itself.
Okay.
The truth is, if you look at education from the point of graduate patronage and reward, you won't be able to, you won't be surprised by the cutoffs that we are having. Now, the topmost courses, the most patronized courses, where you graduate and you have some level of social security to yourself. We have medicine, we have law, and a number of others. Now, if you look at those applying for those ones, compared to the general public, the generality of others who are taking the exams, you see that only very few spaces are available to accommodate people into those courses. Now, if you look at other courses where you have education, social sciences, and others, you get to realize that it is after people have failed in getting those courses of choices that they fall back on those ones. So, invariably, those ones have to continue running because nobody chooses them. So, they have to look for a way to accommodate people into them. And that's why they have to lower those marks to the extent that at least we can have people, particularly in the education. Nobody chooses education. Education, biology education, economics education, normally during ourselves, people are thrown to the place. When I mean thrown, they will tell you that you can't get this, but this is available for you.
Yeah. Or even guidance and counseling.
And most of those who even accept those choices at the long run, they accept them with the aim of, I will read ahead, I will read again, and maybe go back for another jam. I don't want to stay at home. Let me just manage this one. So it goes a long way to indicate the fact that the country is not pricing there's no commensurate reward for those who have graduated in most of those disciplines. So there's no encouragement for new persons, for new upcomers to choose them. And because of that, the system has to devise a way to encourage people or to lure people into them. And that's why those cutoff marks are that very, very low.
And it's been there over time.
It's been there like that.
All right, let's go straight to politics. Daily Sun reads Atiku and Wike fight shift to Senate over minority leader seat as the ex-Rivers governor mobilizes against Tambowa. Looks like this rift is never going to end anytime soon.
Of course, it has gotten it's almost getting to the end actually, because after the Wike defeated them in the House of Reps, his preferred candidate was the one chosen for minority. In the Senate, he's still making efforts to defeat them. If I was Tinubu, I would go for Wike's choice.
Why so?
Thank you. Now, the reason is simple. Whoever stood with you when you needed him most is likely to be a faithful friend compared to who was against you headlong.
Are you going back to that statement where former president said, I would rather, do you expect me to leave those who give me over 90% and go for those who give me 5%, which has created so many?
These are in different contexts.
Okay. That's what
in politics, as far as the Nigerian politics that I know is concerned, there's no sharing of power that, okay, you win, you take 50%, you give 50% to others, or you take 70%, you give 30% to others. Once you win, you have won. There is no place for the second person. And in this case, a faction of the party or a section of the party teamed up with the ruling party to get to government. So you don't expect them to throw any benefit at the other section who fought them to finish. That's just, it's a political language. It's what obtains in politics.
So you're saying that just go for your loyalist instead of go for the competent hand.
They want, it's not about, at that level, I've always said it and I will repeat it. At that level, it's not about competence again. An average person who is in the Senate did not get there based on tests of competence. There are people, former governors, many times senators, and a number of other persons who have taken a number of other responsibilities before. So at their level, it's about interest. It's about whose interest do you serve. So, and the ruling party wants a stabilized Senate. And for you to have a stabilized Senate, you need both the entire leadership or principal officers in the House to be on the same phase. So that in the Senate, to be on the same phase, so that you don't jump from crisis to crisis. You don't have issues passing bills. You don't have issues with screening of appointees and others. So I think that it's only natural for the ruling party to tilt in the direction of the Wike faction.
All right.
Okay, away from politics, let's do some business stories. Of course, you'd agree with me that the world is going digital, if not some part of the world, if not all part of the world, some major parts of the world. And I'll take this from page 20 of the Punch newspaper, where World Bank said Nigeria's digital infrastructure is inadequate for cashless economy. Do you agree with that?
Of course, it's not it's not a new thing. They knew that before they gave it to us. Because they brought in the Western bodies brought in the digital economy to us, and they knew that we didn't have this, and that's part of the issues we have always had. The issues are the fact that you are bringing in technologies that we don't have infrastructures to handle. You are saying we should go cashless when over 70% of the country does not even have access to telecommunication services. There are many towns, many places you get to that you can't even access most of these telecommunication service providers in those towns. So, and apart even from away from that, you look at the affordability of some of these gadgets compared to what the common man can afford, or capacity of the common man in Nigeria. You see that an average system now, a computer system, personal computer system, costs between 150 to 200,000 naira. So an average person who has not even who is still struggling with 3 square meals, how do you expect such a person to be able to afford?
Such? Let's quickly take this call before you go ahead. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, tell us your name and where you're calling us from. All right, I think you should call us back if you can. Go ahead, please.
So I think that they are only stating the obvious if they are saying that we don't have the infrastructures to man up or to live up to the digitalization demands. It's only a statement of facts. They are stating the obvious, and the question you now ask is what level of support are they rendering? Because at the long run, they produce these things. If they are really that interested, they should make them available at almost free or cheaper costs to the Nigerians, and see if we will not embrace them.
All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Okay, tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I want to talk about what
We can barely hear you. I think the network connection.
Okay, now still on this digital infrastructure. So that means basically the CBN governor, the former CBN governor, is it that he didn't make his research before actually telling Nigerians that we want a cashless policy right now? Or was it just mainly because of the election where they said, oh, they want to curb buying of votes? Was that mainly why? And even at that, I still feel like the research should have been done earlier to know that we do not have the digital infrastructure to actually cushion the effect of cashless policy.
Well, I don't know. I can't say exactly which is his reasons. Okay. There are many reasons, both on the streets and official reasons that have been given. His own reason was the fact that we have had it's been very long since we changed our currency. Is against global best practices. We need to change the currencies. That was his own reasons, including the fact that he said that he alleged that too much of cash is being stockpiled by individuals out of the banking sector, and that they had to curb that.
All right.
But the truth is,
sorry, let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
All right. Back again. It's Fortune. Okay.
All right.
I don't know whether I'm clear.
Yes,
it's better.
It's better. Go ahead.
All right. I want to talk about what Mr. President talked yesterday about Nigerian masses making sacrifice in order to for.
Okay.
You see, has been going on in this administration, which people are not taking note of. There has been a lot of propaganda in this government because
the government seems to have come with a lot of media men who surround you a lot. So nobody is asking question about of public officials. Nobody is talking about, but
Fortune, I think your connection is really poor.
So in summary, whatever the reasons are, it is obvious from implementation that it is not only ill-planned, it is badly conceived and badly implemented.
All right, so our time is fast spent, but if you can help us in 2 minutes, 2 questions. And the first one is, I'll take it from what Fortune was saying before he left. President Bola Tinubu said that Nigerians should make sacrifices for country's prosperity. But like he also stated, that's according to Fortune, you recall how many aids they have. And I always say that you don't have a problem because you most definitely need people to work with you. But then if the government keep asking the citizens to make sacrifices, how much sacrifices are they also making in terms of cutting the cost of governance, or should they be making in terms of cutting the cost of governance, so that it doesn't look like so that we can at least meet each other halfway? That's one on the side. And then secondly, with regards to I think that's on Daily Trust, says how Sokoto famous butcher was killed over alleged blasphemy. And then you just think that we're over this lynching and blasphemy case, but then the more you think that you are done with it, the more another headline comes up.
Well, from what the president said, it's not unexpected of him as a leader of the country to encourage people to endure and make sacrifices. But the other side of it is he must also take note of the fact that there is serious trust deficit in governance over the years. People don't trust people in government, and while he appoints people to work with him, he must put it at the back of his mind to put it as a law, so that they don't live flamboyant styles of life that will make Nigerians look foolish while they are enduring the present harsh realities of his policies. So I think that he must work as much as possible to raise the belief and the trust of the people in governance for the benefit of his government. And again, to the blasphemy case, I think that it is because successive governments at the federal level has practically turned deaf ears and blind eyes to those developments, because it's obvious that the governors in those states are either encouraging or encouragers of the killings and senseless lynching, or in cases where they do not encourage them, are helpless. So only the federal government can wade in on those developments, because what their claim is that they are enforcing Sharia. But even in the Quran, according to friends who are Muslims, it's not by jungle justice that you even punish, even when you establish that somebody has blasphemed the name of the Prophet Muhammad. You don't just gather people and kill the person.
All right, I wish we could actually go on, but then our time is fast spent. Thank you so much, Israel Fagbemigun, for always coming on the show.
It's been nice being with you today.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us on the program.